More than 2,000 years ago, a Chinese general named Sun Tzu wrote a short book that would outlive empires, leaders, and entire civilizations. That book is called The Art of War. It was originally written as a military manual, a guide to help generals win battles. But over time, people began to realize something powerful. Sun Tzu wasn't just talking about war. He was talking about strategy, discipline, and the psychology of success. Lessons that apply just as much to business, leadership, and life today as they did on the ancient battlefield. Sun Tzu believed that victory isn't about who's stronger or faster. It's about who understands the situation better, who prepares better, and who can stay calm when chaos begins. He wrote, "The greatest victory is the one that requires no battle." In other words, the smartest way to win is to position yourself so well that you never even have to fight. Think about it. In today's world, our battles are no longer fought with weapons. They're fought with ideas, negotiations, marketing, and decisions. Every entrepreneur, every professional, and every dreamer is fighting for something: success, growth, peace of mind. And that's what makes the art of war timeless. Across this series, we'll break down the 13 chapters of Sun Tzu's masterpiece. Each chapter reveals a strategy that can transform how you think, how you plan, and how you take action. You'll learn how to analyze situations before you act, how to use your strengths wisely, and how to turn challenges into opportunities. Because sometimes, success doesn't come from fighting harder. It comes from thinking smarter. If you've ever felt stuck, outnumbered, or uncertain, this series will help you see that every obstacle hides an advantage, if you know where to look. By mastering these ancient strategies, you'll learn how to stay calm in pressure, plan ahead with precision, and move with confidence in every area of life. Remember this line from Sun Tzu: "In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity." That single idea has guided warriors, leaders, and entrepreneurs for centuries. And now, it's your turn to learn how to use it. Disclaimer: this series is for education and motivation only. The lessons from the art of war are about mindset, discipline, and strategy, not literal warfare. In Chapter 1, Laying Plans, we'll talk about how every great victory begins before the battle even starts. In your preparation, your awareness, and your strategy. Every victory, every breakthrough, begins long before the battle even starts, before the first step, before the first move, before the world even knows a fight is coming. That's what Sun Tzu teaches in Chapter 1 of The Art of War, Laying Plans. He believed that success is not a matter of luck or chance. It's a science, built on preparation, understanding, and clarity. He wrote, "Victorious warriors win first and then go to war. Defeated warriors go to war first and then seek to win." That single line captures the entire idea of this chapter. Winners don't wait for the moment to decide what to do. They prepare so deeply, they've already won, long before the challenge arrives. Think about the great leaders, athletes, and entrepreneurs you know. The ones who make success look effortless. They're not lucky, they're strategic. While everyone else is reacting, they're already 10 steps ahead. Sun Tzu explained that every victory depends on 5 essential factors: moral influence, weather, terrain, command, and method. In modern life, these translate into purpose, timing, environment, leadership, and process. Let's explore them one by one. Purpose. This is your why. Without it, every plan eventually collapses. Purpose gives meaning to sacrifice and direction to effort. It's what separates those who quit from those who keep going. Timing. Even the best idea fails when executed at the wrong moment. There's a time to wait, a time to act, and a time to strike. Mastering timing means learning patience and learning when opportunity truly arrives. Environment. The battlefield is always changing. In business, that means understanding your market, your audience, and your competition. The person who reads the environment best wins, not because they're stronger, but because they're more aware. Leadership. The best leaders don't lead with ego. They lead with wisdom, clarity, and calm under pressure. Sun Tzu believed that leadership decides everything, because when the leader loses control, the army follows. Process. A great plan is nothing without structure. Systems keep you steady when emotions rise. They turn chaos into order and make consistency possible, even in unpredictable times. When you master these 5 elements, you begin to see the future before it happens. You can sense opportunities before others do. You can avoid traps that others fall into. And most importantly, you can stay centered while the world around you becomes uncertain. Because power without direction is wasted. Speed without strategy is dangerous, and courage without clarity is chaos. In the end, laying plans reminds us that the real battlefield isn't out there, it's in your mind. Victory begins the moment you start thinking like a strategist. When you prepare with purpose, act with timing, and lead with wisdom, you no longer fear the outcome. You welcome it. Because deep down, you already know the truth. You've already won before the battle even begins. Chapter 2, Waging War. We'll talk about the true cost of taking action, how to manage your time, energy, and resources wisely, so that every move you make brings you closer to lasting victory. Every action we take has a price. Every decision, every step forward. And the greater the goal, the higher the cost. That's what Sun Tzu reminds us in Chapter 2 of The Art of War. Waging war. He believed that once the battle begins, victory isn't only about strength, it's about endurance. Because even the strongest army will fall if it runs out of time, energy, or resources. In war, the longer the fight lasts, the heavier the burden becomes. Supplies run low, morale drops, focus fades. And the same is true in life and business. If we waste energy fighting too many battles, we eventually burn out before we reach the one that truly matters. Sun Tzu wrote, "When you engage in actual fighting, if victory is long in coming, men's weapons will grow dull, and their enthusiasm will be dampened." In other words, success demands more than effort. It demands strategy in how you use your effort. So let's break down the key lessons from this chapter. Lesson 1. Choose your battles wisely. Not every challenge is worth your time. Sun Tzu teaches that fighting every fight is a fast way to lose them all. In business, this means focusing only on what truly moves you forward. Don't waste your energy on distractions. The smartest warriors know when to fight and when to walk away. Lesson 2. Understand the cost. Before you act, before you take any big step, whether it's launching a business, starting a project, or making a life change, know the real cost. Not just in money, but in time, attention, and energy. Those who plan their resources win more often because they never run out of strength when it matters most. Lesson 3. Keep momentum, but protect your energy. Sun Tzu believed that the fastest path to victory is balance, moving with purpose, not haste. Pushing too hard too soon can drain your energy before the finish line. The goal is sustainable progress. Win small battles that move you closer to the bigger war you're meant to win. In modern life, waging war means managing your inner resources, your focus, patience, and emotional control. Because every battle you fight today takes something from you. Your energy is your fuel. And if you spend it recklessly, you'll have nothing left when opportunity finally arrives. Sun Tzu's wisdom is clear. Victory isn't just about having the will to fight. It's about having the strategy to endure. The ones who win are not those who fight the hardest, but those who last the longest with purpose and clarity. So before you act, pause and ask yourself, is this battle worth the cost? And if it is, commit fully. Because once you step into the arena, hesitation is the fastest way to lose. In Chapter 3, Attack by Stratagem, we'll explore how to win through intelligence, adaptability, and influence, and why the greatest victories often happen without a single fight. The greatest victory is the one that requires no battle. That's the heart of Sun Tzu's message in Chapter 3, Attack by Stratagem. He believed that true mastery and strategy isn't about overpowering others. It's about outthinking them. Because while anyone can fight, only the wise can win without destroying themselves or their resources in the process. Sun Tzu wrote, "To subdue the enemy without fighting is the acme of skill." In simple words, the highest level of success is not found in conflict, but in control. It's the ability to shape outcomes without chaos, to influence without confrontation. Think about it. In business, leadership, or even relationships, the best wins often happen quietly. When you make a decision that shifts direction. When you persuade instead of argue. When you stay calm while everyone else loses control. That's attack by stratagem, winning through wisdom instead of war. Lesson 1. Strategy beats strength. Brute force may bring short-term wins, but it's strategy that builds long-term success. The clever leader doesn't rush to prove power. They position themselves so well that others have no choice but to follow. In business, this means building systems and relationships that make competition irrelevant. Because when your vision is clear and your strategy is sharp, you win before the fight begins. Lesson 2. Understand the power of influence. Sun Tzu teaches that the best leaders use intellect over intimidation. They know how to guide people's decisions without forcing them. Influence comes from respect, trust, and example, not fear. When people believe in your direction, they'll fight your battles for you. Lesson 3. Control the mind, and you control the battle. Every conflict begins in the mind, through doubt, fear, or ego. That's why emotional control is the highest form of discipline. When you stay calm, you see clearly. And when you see clearly, you act with precision. The moment you let anger or pride take over, you've already lost control of the field. Sun Tzu believed that a wise leader avoids unnecessary battles, because even victory has a cost. The true strategist looks for paths that bring peace, stability, and lasting power, not just momentary wins. So before you engage in any fight, ask yourself, can I win this another way? Can I use wisdom instead of force? If you can win without conflict, that's not weakness, that's mastery. Because the ultimate goal of strategy is not destruction, it's control. And those who understand that truth win not just battles, but entire kingdoms. In Chapter 4, Tactical Dispositions, we'll explore how to position yourself for victory, even before the action begins. You'll learn why preparation and awareness can protect you from defeat long before the first move is made. Before a single sword is drawn, the outcome is already decided. That's the essence of Sun Tzu's lesson in Chapter 4, Tactical Dispositions. He believed that victory doesn't come from fighting harder. It comes from positioning yourself so wisely that defeat becomes impossible. Sun Tzu wrote, The good fighter puts himself beyond the possibility of defeat and then waits for an opportunity to defeat the enemy. In other words, success is not about constant action. It's about creating a position so solid that nothing can shake it. Think about how this applies in real life, in business, in leadership, in personal growth. The people who win are not the ones who always rush forward. They're the ones who build strong foundations first. They prepare, they protect, and they plan. Because once you're secure, every opportunity becomes easier to take. The great strategist doesn't look for victory in chaos. He builds victory through structure. Lesson 1. Defense is the foundation of strength. Many people think defense means weakness, but Sun Tzu saw it differently. Defense is wisdom, the art of protecting your energy, your focus, and your stability. In business, that means safeguarding your resources before chasing big risks. A wise leader doesn't move until the base is strong. Lesson 2. Wait for the perfect moment. Sun Tzu teaches that a skilled fighter never attacks out of emotion. He waits patiently for the right time when his opponent is unprepared. In life, patience is often your greatest weapon. Acting too soon can destroy what you've built. But when you strike at the right moment, it takes only one move to change everything. Lesson 3. Build systems that protect you. Tactical disposition is about structure, setting things up so that even when problems come, you remain secure. It's like building a fortress for your mind and your mission. Systems protect you from burnout, from confusion, and from chaos. When your foundation is solid, you can adapt, pivot, and move forward with confidence. Sun Tzu reminds us that the real battle is not always about attack, it's about position. If you position yourself correctly, opportunities naturally come to you. You don't have to chase every victory. Some victories will come to you because you've built the conditions for success. Preparation, patience, and positioning. These are the silent powers behind every great victory. When you master them, you no longer fight for success. You attract it. Because the strongest warriors aren't those who fight endlessly. They're the ones who build their foundation so strong that defeat is no longer possible. Next chapter, preview. In chapter 5, use of energy, we'll talk about how to turn momentum into power and how mastering rhythm, timing, and flow can make every move more effective and unstoppable. Every action has energy. Every movement creates force. But only the wise know how to control it. In chapter 5, use of energy, Sun Tzu reveals one of the most powerful secrets of victory. It's not about how much strength you have. It's about how you use it. He wrote, "The control of a large force is the same principle as the control of a few men. It is merely a question of dividing up their numbers." In other words, power doesn't come from size. It comes from organization, from rhythm, timing, and precision. Think about this in your own life or business. Energy is everywhere, in your people, your time, your emotions, your actions. But without direction, that energy becomes chaos. When you harness it, it becomes unstoppable. Sun Tzu teaches that a wise leader channels energy like water, flowing around obstacles, gathering momentum, and striking only when the time is right. It's not about being everywhere at once. It's about focusing your force where it matters most. Lesson 1. Efficiency is power. The difference between amateurs and masters lies in how they use their energy. Amateurs spend it on noise, reacting, chasing, burning out. Masters invest it calmly, intentionally, strategically. They know that every action must serve the mission. In business, this means focusing on what truly drives growth, not what simply looks busy. Lesson 2. Build momentum, then ride it. Energy grows when it's aligned with purpose. Just like a river gains speed as it flows, momentum comes from consistent direction. Once it starts moving, you don't push harder, you flow with it. This is why the best leaders don't fight every challenge head-on. They redirect energy, turning setbacks into opportunities and resistance into movement. Lesson 3. Control, emotion, command energy. Sun Tzu reminds us that emotion is energy too. Anger, pride, and fear can drain power if left uncontrolled. But when disciplined, those same emotions can fuel greatness. The secret is balance, never letting passion overpower precision. When your mind is calm, your actions become sharp. The use of energy is not just about strength, it's about rhythm. Like music, strategy has tempo. Push too fast and you lose control. Move too slow and you lose momentum. But when your timing is perfect, everything falls into place effortlessly. That's when your team moves as one. Your plan flows naturally. And victory becomes not a struggle, but a result of harmony. In Chapter 6, Weak Points and Strong, we'll uncover how to identify hidden vulnerabilities in yourself, your competition, and your environment, and how to turn them into your greatest strategic advantage. Every person, every system, every opponent has both strengths and weaknesses. The secret to victory lies in knowing where to strike and when to stay still. In Chapter 6, Weak Points and Strong, Sun Tzu reminds us that power is not fixed, it's fluid. And the one who understands this truth can turn any situation, no matter how difficult, into an opportunity. He wrote, "Appear at points which the enemy must hasten to defend. March swiftly to places where you are not expected." In other words, the strongest position isn't always about power, it's about surprise. The ability to move unseen, act unexpectedly, and strike precisely where others are blind. Think about this in life and business. Many people waste energy trying to overpower their competition directly. But Sun Tzu teaches something different. Don't fight strength with strength. Instead, look for the gaps, the blind spots, the overlooked opportunities that others don't see. Because where others see obstacles, the strategist sees openings. Lesson 1. Adapt to every situation, just like water takes the shape of whatever container it's in. A wise leader adapts to every environment. When the market shifts, adapt. When plans fail, pivot. When pressure rises, stay calm and flow around it. Rigidity breaks under stress, but adaptability wins in any condition. Lesson 2. Turn weakness into strength. Sun Tzu believed that weakness can be your greatest weapon if you understand it. Sometimes showing vulnerability disarms your opponent. Sometimes retreating today allows you to advance tomorrow. In business, this means using small size, flexibility, or focus as an advantage against larger, slower competitors. True strength isn't in being perfect, it's in knowing how to use imperfection wisely. Lesson 3. Study before you strike. Information is power. The one who observes, listens, and studies before taking action holds the real advantage. Sun Tzu's wisdom reminds us that most battles are won before they begin, in planning, research, and awareness. When you know your opponent better than they know themselves, every move you make becomes a step toward inevitable victory. In life, there will always be stronger forces, bigger companies, louder voices. But strength alone doesn't guarantee success. Awareness does, adaptability does, strategy does. Because the wise don't waste time proving power, they use it with precision. They strike not where the fight is hardest, but where it matters most. And that's how you win. Not by force, but by understanding. In Chapter 7, Maneuvering, we'll explore how to navigate through challenges, lead teams effectively, and move through complex situations with speed, clarity, and confidence. In every great campaign, there comes a moment when plans must turn into motion. That's what Chapter 7, Maneuvering, is all about. Sun Tzu teaches that once the strategy is clear, the next challenge is movement. Leading people, managing risk, and adapting to the shifting rhythm of reality. He wrote, "Let your plans be dark and impenetrable as night, and when you move, fall like a thunderbolt." In other words, your strategy should be invisible, but your action undeniable. Maneuvering is more than just moving your troops. It's about knowing when to move, how fast to move, and why you're moving in the first place. Because motion without direction is chaos. But motion with clarity, that's power. In life, business, or leadership, we all face this same challenge. Turning plans into results. And that's where the art of maneuvering becomes essential. Lesson 1. Timing and terrain matter. Sun Tzu teaches that every move depends on the terrain, the environment you're in. In war, it's the land. In business, it's the market. In life, it's your circumstances. Before you move, you must study the ground beneath your feet. Is this the right time? Is this the right direction? Because even the strongest army can fail if it moves on the wrong ground. Patience before action is what separates strategy from impulse. Lesson 2. Lead with clarity, not confusion. Movement requires unity. A leader's role is to guide with calm confidence, not panic. Sun Tzu reminds us that confusion spreads faster than commands, so the wise leader speaks simply, leads by example, and creates trust. In business or teams, this means communication is your greatest weapon. People follow leaders who make them feel safe, not scared. Clarity creates momentum. Confusion kills it. Lesson 3. Balance speed with stability. Every move has a cost. If you rush, you risk mistakes. If you delay, you lose opportunities. Sun Tzu teaches that success lies in rhythm, moving fast enough to stay ahead, but steady enough to stay in control. In life, this means knowing when to sprint and when to slow down. Not every step must be loud or dramatic. Sometimes, silent progress is the most powerful move you can make. Maneuvering reminds us that leadership is not about constant motion. It's about purposeful direction. The wise don't move to impress, they move to win. And when they act, they do so with grace, precision, and unstoppable momentum. Because true leadership isn't measured by how fast you move. It's measured by how effectively you guide others through movement. In Chapter 8, Variation in Tactics, we'll explore how to stay unpredictable, how great leaders use flexibility and creativity to stay one step ahead of everyone else. In the game of strategy, there is one rule that stands above all: never be predictable. In Chapter 8, Variation in Tactics, Sun Tzu teaches that the key to long-term success is adaptability. Because in every battle, in every business, and in every stage of life, no plan ever survives unchanged. He wrote, "In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity." And that line captures everything this chapter stands for. The wise don't fear change, they master it. They understand that while others cling to old ways, the adaptable rise above the storm. Variation in tactics means staying fluid, never locked into one method or one mindset. Because the moment your enemy, your competitor, or even your environment can predict your next move, your advantage is gone. Sun Tzu teaches that strength is found in versatility. the ability to think differently, shift direction, and surprise when least expected. That's what keeps you alive and ahead. Lesson 1. Flexibility is power. Many people believe that consistency means never changing. But Sun Tzu knew the truth. Real consistency is about staying true to your purpose, not your routine. Change your methods if needed, but never your mission. In business, that means adapting your strategies to new markets, technologies, or situations, while keeping your core vision unshakable. Lesson 2. Know when to break the rules. Rigid leaders follow plans even when they stop working. Wise leaders know when to adjust, pause, or even completely redirect. Sometimes the fastest path forward is a detour. Sun Tzu reminds us that success requires creativity, the courage to do what others wouldn't dare to try. Because innovation is born when discipline meets flexibility. Lesson 3. Read the situation, not your ego. Many lose battles not because they're weak, but because they refuse to adapt. They stay attached to old strategies out of pride or fear. But the strategist reads the situation, not their emotions. They change tactics as easily as the wind shifts direction. Because in the art of war, and in life, the only constant is change. Sun Tzu teaches that variation keeps you unpredictable, and unpredictability keeps you safe. Your flexibility confuses your rivals, inspires your followers, and keeps your mission alive no matter what happens. So never fear change. Flow with it. Master it. Because while others are trying to resist the storm, you're already learning how to ride the wind. In Chapter 9, The Army on the March, we'll explore how to read the environment around you, the signs, the behaviors, and the subtle patterns that reveal what's coming next. It's all about awareness, observation, and intuition. In every journey, there are signs. Some are clear, others are hidden. But those who can read them win long before the battle begins. In Chapter 9, The Army on the March, Sun Tzu teaches the importance of awareness. He believed that a great leader must not only command forces, but also understand the environment, the land, the people, the energy of the situation. He wrote, "He who knows the enemy and himself will never be in peril in 100 battles." And that wisdom begins with one simple skill: observation. When your army moves, you don't just look ahead, you look around. You study the signs of strength and weakness. You sense the mood of your people, the readiness of your allies, and the hidden intentions of your rivals, because the world constantly sends signals, and the wise are always listening. In modern life, this lesson applies everywhere. In business, it means reading the market. In leadership, it means reading your team. In personal growth, it means reading yourself, your energy, your habits, your emotions. Awareness is not a passive skill, it's a weapon. Lesson 1. Read the environment before you act. Sun Tzu teaches that every decision depends on the conditions around you. Don't move just because you can. Move because the situation is ready for it. Before you launch a product, start a project, or make a major change, observe. The terrain, the timing, and the temperature of the moment matter more than your speed. Lesson 2. Know the signs of strength and weakness. When the enemy marches with confidence, but their formation is loose, they're tired. When they're quiet, but their discipline is sharp, they're ready. Sun Tzu teaches that every force reveals its condition if you know how to look. In business, you can sense when competitors are desperate or when they're quietly preparing to strike. Your awareness turns uncertainty into advantage. Lesson 3. Observe yourself as deeply as you observe others. The most powerful awareness is self-awareness. Sun Tzu reminds us that even the strongest army can fail if its leader is blind to his own limits. In life, this means knowing your patterns, when you're at your best and when you're vulnerable. The one who sees clearly within will never be caught off guard by what's outside. The army on the march teaches that victory doesn't start on the battlefield. It starts in the mind, in the quiet moments of observation, intuition, and awareness. Because when you can read the signs, you already know how the story ends. In Chapter 10, Terrain, we'll explore how to understand and use different environments, the physical, mental, and strategic landscapes that can make or break any mission. It's all about mastering your ground before the battle even begins. Every battle, every journey, every mission is shaped by the ground beneath your feet. That is the heart of Chapter 10, Terrain. Sun Tzu teaches that to win any fight, you must understand the environment you're in, because the terrain you stand on can either lift you or destroy you. He wrote, "He who knows the terrain and uses it to his advantage will triumph." In other words, your environment is not just a backdrop, it's a strategic weapon. Terrain isn't just physical land, it's the situation you're in, the market you're competing in, the conditions surrounding your goals, the mindset of the people around you. Every environment has rules, and the one who understands those rules gains power before a single move is made. Sun Tzu breaks terrain into several types: easy ground, difficult ground, dangerous ground, open ground, and more, each requiring a different strategy. His message is simple: one approach will never work everywhere. The ground decides the method. Lesson 1. Know the terrain before you act. Sun Tzu teaches that rushing into an unfamiliar environment is a guaranteed path to defeat. Before you step forward, study the landscape. If you're entering a market, learn its patterns. If you're forming a team, learn your people. If you're starting a goal, learn its requirements. The wise don't just act, they understand the ground first. This alone prevents countless failures. Lesson 2. Adapt your strategy to the environment. What works in one place may fail in another. This is why rigid strategies collapse. Sun Tzu shows that in difficult terrain, you conserve your energy. In open terrain, you move boldly. In dangerous terrain, you focus on survival. In life and business, this is the same. Your strategy must shift with your situation. Flexibility is not optional. It's survival. Lesson 3. Choose your ground wisely. Sometimes the best strategy isn't to adapt, it's to position yourself in better terrain altogether. Sun Tzu reminds us that a wise leader chooses where to stand. This means choosing the right opportunities, the right partners, the right timing, the right battles. You don't win by fighting everywhere. You win by fighting where the terrain favors you. Terrain teaches us one eternal truth. You're not just fighting opponents, you're fighting conditions. But when you understand your environment, when you adapt to it, when you position yourself on the right ground, victory becomes natural, not because you're stronger, but because you're smarter. The strategist molds the terrain to his advantage, and in doing so, he shapes his own destiny. In Chapter 11, the 9 situations, we'll dive into the 9 different positions armies face, and how each one demands a unique mindset, a unique strategy, and a unique way of winning. It's one of the longest and most powerful chapters in the entire book. In this chapter, Sun Tzu explains a powerful truth. Not all battles are fought on the same ground, and not all situations should be handled the same way. Victory does not belong to those who react blindly. It belongs to those who understand where they stand. Sun Tzu introduces 9 distinct battlefield situations, each demanding a different mindset, a different strategy, and a different level of control. He teaches that a true commander does not force one tactic everywhere. He adapts, he reads the environment, he moves with intelligence. The first is dispersive ground. This is when soldiers are fighting on their own territory. Their hearts are divided because home is close and retreat feels easy. In this situation, the goal is unity, not aggression. Next is facile ground. This is when the army has entered enemy land, but not deeply. Confidence is fragile. Momentum must be protected. Third is contentious ground. This is land that benefits whoever controls it. Here, speed and decisive action determine dominance. Fourth is open ground, a place where both sides can move freely. Here, stability and coordination matter more than force. Fifth is the ground of intersecting highways, strategic territory that connects multiple regions. This is where alliances, positioning, and diplomacy become weapons. Sixth is serious ground, deep inside enemy terrain, far from safety. Here, supply lines, morale, and discipline decide survival. Seventh is difficult ground, terrain that slows movement and drains energy. In this place, patience becomes power. Eighth is hemmed-in ground, where escape routes are limited and danger closes in. Here, creativity and sharp decision-making save lives. And finally, desperate ground, where there is no way back, no retreat, no safety. Only one option remains: total commitment. Sun Tzu reveals something profound here. When there is no escape, soldiers fight with unmatched intensity. Desperation ignites courage. Pressure awakens potential. But the true master does not wait for desperation. He positions his army so that strength flows naturally, not through fear, but through purpose. This chapter is not only about war, it is about life. Because every person faces different terrains, moments of comfort, moments of confusion, moments where everything feels trapped. And in each moment, a different response is required. The mistake most people make is using the same approach for every problem. The wise choose strategy over impulse. Sun Tzu reminds us, know your position, understand your environment, then move with clarity. Power comes not from reckless action, but from intelligent adaptation. Those who master their situation master their outcome. Victory is not about strength alone. It is about knowing where you stand and moving with precision.
In this chapter, Sun Tzu reveals one of the most destructive forces in warfare: fire. Not just as a weapon of destruction, but as a strategic tool controlled by timing, discipline, and intelligence. He makes one thing clear: fire is powerful, but power without control becomes chaos. Sun Tzu explains that there are 5 ways fire can be used in battle: to burn soldiers, to burn supplies, to burn equipment, to burn storehouses, and to burn transport routes. Each type of fire attack targets not just the enemy's body, but their stability, their rhythm, and their ability to continue fighting. But Sun Tzu does not promote blind destruction. He emphasizes precision. Fire must only be used when conditions are perfect, when the weather is right, when the wind favors you, when timing guarantees maximum impact, because a poorly timed fire harms the attacker more than the enemy. This chapter teaches that true strategy is not about aggression. It is about calculated execution. A wise commander does not act out of anger. He does not attack because of emotion. He attacks because the moment is right. Sun Tzu warns against one dangerous flaw: revenge-driven decisions. When leaders act out of rage, they lose clarity, they lose discipline, they lose control. And once control is lost, defeat follows. Fire symbolizes more than flames. It represents any powerful action in life. A bold move, a risky decision, a major confrontation, a turning point. And the lesson is simple. Just because you can act does not mean you should. Timing is everything. Strike too early and you fail. Strike too late and the opportunity disappears. Strike with precision and you dominate. Sun Tzu also reminds us that once destruction is unleashed, you cannot always reverse the damage. That is why strategy must come before action. Thinking must come before force. This chapter teaches mastery over impulse. Because the strongest person is not the one who explodes. It is the one who knows exactly when to ignite. In life, your words can be fire. Your decisions can be fire. Your reactions can be fire. Use them without wisdom and you burn bridges. Use them with strategy and you clear the path to victory. Sun Tzu's message is timeless. Power is useless without timing. Strength means nothing without discipline. And action without control leads to regret. The true warrior chooses the moment carefully, then strikes with precision and leaves nothing to chance. Controlled power wins wars. Uncontrolled power destroys the one who holds it. In the final chapter of The Art of War, Sun Tzu reveals one of the deepest secrets of victory. Information, not weapons, not strength, not numbers, but knowledge. He explains that the strongest armies win not because they are the most powerful, but because they know more than their enemy. Sun Tzu says that no war can be won without intelligence, no strategy can succeed without understanding, and no commander can lead without insight into what lies ahead. This is why he introduces the importance of spies, not as shadows or myths, but as essential tools for survival and dominance. Sun Tzu describes 5 types of spies. The first is the local spy, people who live within the enemy's territory. They see everything, they hear everything, and they blend in perfectly. Second is the inside spy, people who hold positions within the enemy's ranks. They provide information that cannot be seen from the outside. Third is the converted spy, former enemies who now serve you. They are the most valuable because they know both sides. Fourth is the doomed spy, those who carry false information to mislead the enemy. Their mission is dangerous, but their impact can turn the tide of battle. And fifth is the surviving spy, the spy who goes in and comes back alive, delivering critical intelligence that shapes the entire plan. Sun Tzu says that when these 5 types are used together, victory becomes easier, faster, and more predictable. But this chapter is not just about spying. It is about the value of truth. A commander who lacks information acts blindly, makes reckless decisions, and sacrifices lives without reason. But a commander who sees the unseen moves with precision, acts with confidence, and wins without unnecessary risk. Sun Tzu also reminds us that spies are not just tools. They are humans, and they must be treated with trust, respect, and protection. Because a spy who feels valued becomes loyal, and loyalty opens doors that force never could. The deeper message of this chapter extends far beyond the battlefield. In life, the one who gathers knowledge holds the advantage. Whether you lead a business, a team, or your own personal journey, awareness is power. Understanding is power. Insight is power. Sun Tzu teaches that success does not come from guessing. It comes from knowing. Knowing your opportunities, knowing your risks, knowing your environment, and knowing the people around you. This chapter closes the book with a timeless truth. Before you act, before you commit, before you leap, seek information. Because the mind that is informed is the mind that wins. Victory belongs to those who see what others cannot. As we reach the end of The Art of War, we're left with a message far deeper than ancient military strategy. Sun Tzu never wrote this book just for generals. He wrote it for anyone who faces conflict, pressure, or challenge. Across 13 chapters, he revealed a truth that echoes through time. Victory is not determined by force alone. Victory belongs to those who think. He showed us that battles are won before they begin. In planning, in preparation, in understanding the terrain, and in knowing both yourself and the world around you. He taught that discipline beats chaos, strategy beats impulse, and intelligence beats strength. From laying plans, to controlling the battlefield, to mastering timing, to leading with clarity, to gathering information, Sun Tzu builds a complete system for winning without wasting energy. A system for avoiding unnecessary conflict. A system for turning pressure into advantage. A system for moving with purpose, not emotion. And the more you absorb his teachings, the more you realize something powerful. The art of war is not about war. It is about life. Every person is a commander of their own journey. Every day is a battlefield of decisions, distractions, and challenges. And every choice sets the direction of your future. Sun Tzu reminds you to act with intention, to stay calm when others panic, to prepare when others ignore the risks, and to move with focus when others rush blindly. He teaches that true strength is quiet, true power is controlled. True mastery is understanding yourself before trying to conquer anything else. And in the end, his greatest lesson is simple. The one who wins is the one who chooses their battles wisely. Not every fight deserves your energy. Not every noise deserves your attention. Not every obstacle deserves a reaction. But when a battle must be fought, fight it with clarity. Fight it with discipline. Fight it with intelligence. Then win it without wasting anything unnecessary. This is the heart of Sun Tzu's philosophy. Win smart, win clean, win with strategy, and when possible, win without fighting at all. As you move forward in your own life, in your goals, your dreams, your relationships, your work, remember the essence of this ancient guide. Know yourself, know your environment, know your timing, know your purpose. Because the moment you master these, you master the art of victory. The greatest battles are won in the mind long before they are fought in the world.